Right, I'm just going to do a quick little video on some tips fitting a Harrison Billet 4-pot to an FX Shovelhead late 84. Now you see it's got the Showa forks, 35mm I think they are, and the 11.5-inch OEM disc. Now the 4-pot caliper bolts straight on, right? But what you've got like a disc which is about 5.2 to 5.4 width. You've got a 7mm gap for clearance between the caliper halves. They're not actually two halves though, one piece I think. Oh no, it might be two halves. Anyway, never mind. And you got your two mounting bolts. Now what Harrison supply you with is 5 1mm spacers that you might have to use on your disc bolts to space the disc outwards, and also some 1mm and 1/2mm spacers to space the caliper. Now fortunately I didn't have to space out the disc. All I did was I put 1/2mm spacers in there between the caliper and the mounting on the fork, and that more or less centralized it. But you've got to be very, very careful because there's not much room. If you put a 1mm spacer in there, it can bring it over too far. I had to use 1/2mm spacers. And then I took a feeler gauge, and what I got was a clearance, in there on all 4 sides, top and bottom, of about 0.5 of a mil, roughly, I don't know, I think that's about 20 thou. She spins lovely. And according to Harrison, as long as the disc is not touching the caliper, you're fine. But I wanted it as centralised as possible. So that's how that works. What I did was, up here, W&W do a replica master cylinder unfortunately I couldn't get the black one, I had to get chrome, but it's a 9/16, and a 9/16 works much better with a 4-pot, especially if you've got on your Super Glide single disc 4-pot. The caliper was about, all in, must have been close on 400, and the MC was about 170 I think, all in. Plus I put a heli line on there. I can't remember how much that was, it was ages ago. Another thing to note is that the speedo cable, if you want it to go directly in line like that, it's probably going to touch the caliper, but only when you're turning the steering. I've got to sort something out for that and maybe get a longer cable. It's unfortunate to take that OEM one out because it served its time for over 4 decades. But it might have to go. Anyway, I haven't bled it up yet, but I just thought I'd point this out because there's nothing on YouTube about fitting a Harrison 4-pot to a Shovelhead. And if you live in a city, like London, for example, you need decent brakes. It's all right if you live out in the sticks where there's no cars, just donkeys and horses and all that, trottling around. But out there, you might get away with the stock brakes. But in London, you need something a bit more up to date. Anyway, there you go. Thank you very much. Bye.